What's going on, guys? As someone who used to be overweight, weighing in around 265, and now I'm down almost about 100 pounds at 165, sometimes 170, it fluctuates, I feel like I know a pretty decent bit about dieting and fasting and just overall how to lose weight. This being said, today I want to talk about one of the hardest but most important thing you need to know about actually going and losing weight and how this is going to help you to go and actually reach your goals. And what I'm talking about is learning the difference between cravings and actual hunger. So in this video, I'm going to be talking all about that. And anyways, guys, let's get started.
She just wants to flirt, so I flirt right back. I just put in work, yeah, I work like that. Got me falling and it hurts, yeah, it hurts so bad. All in and it's worth everything I have.
So to understand this the best, you have to really break down what is a craving and what is hunger. So to do this, I'm going to use basically different terms for it. Let's say for cravings, we're going to use wants, and hunger, we're going to use needs or necessities. So the easiest way I can think to break this down is, say you have $600, right? And you can either go and you can get a new laptop or you can pay your rent for an apartment, right? So the craving or want is you don't need the laptop, but it would be nice to have. That's your craving or want. The necessity is, say, your rent that you need, because if not, you're going to be living on the streets. This is the same type of meaning towards food and your intake. So pretty much what I'm saying is, if you see a food, say it's a piece of cake, and say you're fasting, you haven't eaten, you're going to really want to eat that because it sounds really good, it looks really good, but you don't need it. It's going against your fasting, whether this is water fasting, intermittent fasting, anything like that. So maybe it's just, say, for water fasting, you're not eating at all. So maybe food in general is going to make you hungry. Or if it's intermittent fasting, say you don't eat before 1 o'clock, maybe it's like 11 and you see it and you're like, ooh, I could really go for that right now, but you don't need it. Your body isn't necessarily hungry at that time. So that's the basic difference. Now I want to go and actually explain exactly how to know the difference and how you can go about dealing with that. From my fasting experience, I found that intermittent fasting is a really, really cool concept. And what intermittent fasting is you don't eat before a certain time and you don't eat after a certain time. And what I learned from this is, in the morning, I'll wake up and I'm so hungry. My stomach isn't growling, but I'm really I wake up and I need some energy, I need something because I'm craving food. And I find when you're really craving foods, you're gonna go and potentially overeat because you're thinking with your mind instead of what your stomach actually wants. So, what I would do is, don't eat right away when you wake up. Take maybe an hour to eat so you can decide if you are actually hungry or if you're just wanting food because you need the energy, you're tired, and everything like that. And this is so important. Similar with when you get off a fast, say you're getting off a water fast where you haven't eaten for a certain number of days or hours. This is really important that you set aside a regular sized meal beforehand when you're not hungry. Because if you go and wait till you're finishing the fast, you're hungry, you're craving it. You're just wanting to eat because you haven't eaten for that whole time. So if you set aside a normal portion of food ahead of time, or if you plan your meals ahead of time, then you'll know how much is an actual normal amount you should be eating, and that way you aren't overeating. If you're going and setting aside these meals and you're still hungry afterwards, and it's the size of a meal you would normally have, I would suggest replacing the rest with water, because water has 0 calories, it's good for you, it keeps you hydrated, and it's going to prevent you from overeating, and you don't want to be undereating either. Don't set aside a meal so small just because you're afraid that you're going to gain the weight or something. Put aside a normal size portion that is going to be what you would normally eat. Now, if you're trying to lose weight, you should make sure that it's healthy food. It's things that are actually good for you. Just because you're only having like a certain regular number of donuts, it's still donuts. It still has all that sugar and things that aren't good for you. So you want to make sure, obviously, you're still keeping to a diet, but you're putting aside the amount ahead of time, and so you're not, like I said, overeating, and you're not getting those cravings. Normally, if your stomach's growling, you're normally going to be hungry. If your stomach isn't growling all the way, you could still be hungry, but it's definitely a clear sign if you get to that point. Like I said, it's really important that you guys learn the difference, and maybe even before you eat anything, you just take a quick second. Am I really hungry, or am I just craving this at the moment? And anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please leave a thumbs up on this video. Comment any questions you have. I'll try to get back to them as soon as I possibly can. Subscribe and hit the bell to get notified anytime I put a new video out. If you have any suggestions on videos, you can also comment them in the comment section. And anyways, guys, I'll see you in the next video.